Electro Dragons are the single most popular troop in Clash of Clans, but often people struggle to 3-star with them. So let this be the only guide you need for the best Electro Dragon army to 3-star any base. First, let's give you the best build each hero needs for this army by starting with the Archer Queen. She will always run the Giant Arrow and Healer Puppets, as it can reliably clear air defenses and sweepers while also enabling her to set a funnel. As for her pets, I recommend you run just this one pet for each Town Hall level. In terms of the Barbarian King, I recommend running him with the Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots, as this will allow him to be a tank for your Archer Queen while also being able to deal with both trash buildings and defenses with big damage of the Spiky Ball Earthquake Boot combo, in addition to being able to open walls for both himself and the Queen. For him, the best pet to run are these depending on your Town Hall level. The Warden is also rather simple, as you will likely want to run the Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome, as this will let the Edrag stay alive for much longer while also getting much needed healing. You usually want to have as little damage from the Warden to let the Electro Dragons get enough chains on buildings and defenses, so his role as a support to keep them alive tends to be more ideal. As for his pets, this is usually what I recommend running. And finally, the Minion Prince. His best set for the time being is his default Henchman Puppets and Dark Orb abilities, as this lets him not only soak up Seeking Air Mines, but also can allow him to support himself and the Electro Dragons while funneling for them. In terms of his best pets, here's what I recommend you use. From there, the army comp is rather simple, as it uses no super troops and is fairly similar between Town Hall levels. However, you can substitute the Super Dragon for a Dragon Rider in the CC if you truly want no super troops in this army. The compositions for this will be within the description if you'd like to follow along with this army. With the heroes and army comp out of the way, let's break down this attack by starting with funneling. First, use your Archer Queen with her Giant Arrow to snipe off 1 to 2 air defenses and or any sweepers if possible, especially if they are pointed towards each other. This is followed up by having the Queen set up one side of the funnel, all in part by the Healer Puppets supporting her. Additionally, have your Barbarian King act as a tank to soak up damage for the Archer Queen, while also allowing him to break walls and clear multiple defenses and trash buildings for your Queen with his Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots. This should clear a large enough area on one side to funnel your Edrags, but that's not all. You also have the Minion Prince to funnel the other side of the base for your Electro Dragons. Due to his high DPS, he can usually clear out buildings quite easily, in addition to having 2 abilities that can help him and the Electro Dragons clear out Seeking Air Mines and slow down defenses. You also want him to remove at least 1 air defense in the area while he sets up the funnel. With the funnels set from your King and Queen along with the Minion Prince, you will send your Edrags right between the 2 funnels. However, you additionally have the Flame Flinger to clear a back-end air defense, which can help your Edrags stay alive for longer, while also clearing out defenses that could wreck your Electro Dragons later on. Having a Super Dragon within the CC lets it be a strong option when dealing with enemy heroes or back-end defenses, but you can alternatively use the Dragon Rider if you don't want to use any super troops. With the funnel set by the King, Queen, and Minion Prince, use your Edrags and balloons right in between. This will allow you to have the Grand Warden follow right behind them, where I recommend using an early rage spell to push both the balloons and Electro Dragons deep into the core while setting up the Electro Dragons to do big damage. As you work into the core of the base, follow up with the Warden's Tomes to both protect and heal the Electro Dragons as they move in. From here, your spell usage is important to keeping the Electro Dragons alive and doing damage. You will want to use rage spells every so often with groups of Electro Dragons as they spread out in the core of the base. This should let you get the most out of each rage spell without many issues. Additionally, place them slightly ahead of the Electro Dragons so they can also stay raged up as they move from building to building. As for the free spells, use them over high DPS defenses that will likely crush your Edrags if you're not careful. Some examples are defenses like the Monolith, Giga Artillery or Giga Inferno, and even the Scatter Shots. This should help keep your Edrags alive for the most part to clear out all air targeting defenses in order to crush any base. With all of the knowledge from this breakdown, let's give you an example of how this army is used in full. First things first, start by using the Flame Flinger to snipe off an air defense. Just keep in mind that things like the Mortars, Expos, Monolith, and Giga Artillery all outrange it. But you're going to then use the Queen with her giant arrow to snipe off 1 to 2 air defenses. This is going to get great value for our Electro Dragons, where we'll have the Queen setting up the funnel along with the Barbarian King and his Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots, being able to clear multiple defensive buildings while the Queen walks the outside. This can really help establish the funnel with the Minion Prince adjacent to them. With the Minion Prince, he's able to do a lot of damage to buildings while also having the slow from his Dark Orb. This is really going to help set up one side of your funnel with the Minion Prince and the other side with your King and Queen. With his Dark Orb ability, this is going to slow down a bunch of defenses, especially as you send them into the core, with an early rage spell to get the Edrags and balloons in, while using the Grand Warden's Eternal Tome and Healing Tome to keep them alive and healed. Otherwise, this is where you're going to start using your rage spells to keep your Edrags raged as they move around, and free spells to stop air targeting defenses. Overall, try to use the rage spells slightly ahead so the Edrags stay raged up throughout the entire attack, and overall they should get a massive amount of chain. Even on bases where there isn't a lot of chain, you will still get some, and this really allows you to wreck a lot of bases this way, as this setup is very strong. Let's give you an additional example, but this time at Town Hall 14. This example, we're going to be using the Flame Flinger in an area where it's not going to be threatened, but we are going to use the Queen with her giant arrow to at least remove an air defense and a sweeper. This means that we still have 3 air defenses left, but the Flame Flinger is able to clear 1. We got the King and the Queen moving separately, but this is completely fine, because the King can actually set up the other side of the funnel with the Spiky Ball and the Earthquake Boots while getting in. The Queen is going to set up the other side, which really sets us up perfectly for our Electro Dragons. Additionally, we have the Minion Prince and the Baby Dragon being used to get the Prince in to provide the slow and also create and extend the funnel. Additionally, we also have the Edrags moving in with a rage spell into the Town Hall, while also using the Grand Warden abilities Eternal Tome and Healing Tome to keep them protected and healed as they go through the Town Hall poison. Otherwise, we're using free spells over key defenses like the Inferno Towers, while also using rage spells to keep them moving. Overall, we just want to make sure that we use our rage spells every so often along with free spells to do massive work. We also want to use free spells over air defenses in order to make sure that the Edrags are not taking too much damage from them. Otherwise, we should have a CC such as the Dragon Riders, which should be able to clear out remaining defenses, and of course this should keep more than enough Edrags alive to really clean house and 3-star quite easily. Now, while Electro Dragons will still be seen as a spammy troop for noobs, this hopefully will help both casual and semi-competitive players master Electro Dragons for more 3-stars. However, if you want an easy dragon army with the Electro Boots, I recommend checking this one out right here.